Yeah. Excuse me. Sacramento River National Wildlife Refuge is the northernmost refuge in Sacramento Valley. And it's a very good tour route and has 2 photo blinds. And if you go there fall and winter, there's large concentrations of waterfowl to see. This is photo blind number 1 and photo blind number 2. And the reservations for these have to be made through the Sacramento National Wildlife Refuge's office. Calusa. Calusa is one of these refuges I really, really like. It's it's between Williams and down to Calusa. And it's got a really, really nice auto tour route. And it's the person who used to be the manager there, Mike Peters, was a photographer. And so he set up this observation deck. So in the afternoon, you got the sun here back, so you're not fighting shadows. He also puts, they put gravel in right in front of the observation area, so the birds come in there to utilize the gravel. And you can get some very close looks at them. This is about 30 feet from the deck. Goose is about 50 feet from the deck. And you know, if you look, you can see, you know, quite a few banded birds in there. And again, this is right off the road, around the tour route, banded bird. They have 1 blind there, and again, that has to be booked through the Sacramento National Wildlife Refuge's office. Gray Lodge. Gray Lodge is probably one of my favorite refuges, though I haven't been there for a long time. It's about 9,100 acres and is managed for the wildlife. It's got various types of habitat. And it's about halfway between Live Oak and Gridley, just west of it. They got a very nice tour route and a couple of blinds and observation decks. And again, like all these refuges, in the fall and winter is their times. And you can see, come there in the fall, winter, see a lot of waterfowl. So you start coming down south of Sacramento, you got the Concealments Preserve, the Nature Conservancy Preserve at Staten Island, and the Woodbridge Ecological Reserve outside of Lodi. Woodbridge Ecological Conservancy Reserve and Staten Island is a partnership between the Nature Conservancy and the Bureau of Land Management. The Woodbridge Ecological Reserve is owned and operated by the California Department of Fish and Game, and it was there to provide roosting areas for the sandhill cranes. And you can see the between private and public groups and the Nature Conservancy and Bureau of Land Management, they preserved quite a large area around that area around there. Concealments Preserve. Again, you see a lot of sandhill cranes there. And you've got quite a large waterfowl population comes in there also. And Canada geese both migrate there and have become permanent residents. And of course, you hear egrets and herons and ibises there. And everybody's favorite, the spoonie. Now you go down to Staten Island, and if you haven't been there, it's off Staten Island Road, which next to or comes off of the Walnut Creek Thornton Road, and it's owned by the Nature Conservancy, and they farm it, and they have a set up to where part of it is harvested and part of it is set aside for the wildlife. And you get a lot of the Aleutian geese that stay up there during the fall and winter. Of course, they've got sandhill cranes there too. And ducks. So this banded sandhill crane, it was interesting because I showed you a picture of it earlier that I'd taken up on Modoc in June. And then in October, I come down to Staten Island and here's the same bird. Woodbridge Ecological Reserve. They've got two units. They've got the south unit and the north unit. On the south unit, people can come in here. You do need to have a lands pass or hunting fishing license. And in the evening, I've seen as many as 3,000 to 4,000 sandhills come in right at dark, right before dark. And it seems like the earlier in the year, they start coming in around end of September, and in September, October, early November, they tend to come in a little earlier during the day. As winter drags on, they tend to stay out and feed as long as they can, so you can start coming up, towards the end, towards dark. I am also a docent with the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and we lead crane tours. And we always start here and meet a group, and more to that later. And if you go there, there's a mockingbird that'll always pose for you. And this is the south unit in the morning light. What I tell people is that if they, this is taken right off that little driveway there. Tell them if they come up here, watch the cranes come in the evening. If they're not local, get a motel somewhere and show up a half an hour before sunrise and just sit and watch. And the cranes will start waking up and they'll start doing their dancing and hopping around and so forth. And then they'll start taking off, 2, 3, 4 at a time. And within a half an hour, they're completely gone. And if you get the conditions just right, you can get some nice silhouettes. The cranes flying across Mount Diablo. And cranes like to sing, and that's a good place to watch them sing. And it's not just cranes, you get herons and egrets and other birds in there also. And this little kestrel, I was out there one morning and he landed on that fence post with a Jerusalem cricket and just sat there and ate the cricket while I took pictures. Okay, on the north unit, this is where we take our tours. You have to get reservations through the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. And they usually start opening up about 6 weeks before the tour dates. And this is behind lock gate. We got a viewing area there where the people can sit down. Usually we have some kind of water, at least water, coffee, and sometimes cookies and stuff for the people. You just sit there and just watch the cranes come in. And you come down to San Luis. Off the tour route, you can get some interesting, see some interesting birds and get some pictures. This one, a little snipe, wants to be a sprig. And you have sprig of light. Sprig, take it off. Got a ton of California valley quail there. And of course, they have the tule elk. For those of you that know, they got a 680 acre enclosure, and they breed tule elk on there. They just kind of run free, and every few years they come in and take some of the elk out and move them to other locations. But the tule elk start going in rut in August, and they're usually done by mid-September. And it's come out there real early in the morning, real late in the evening, and you just drive around the enclosure, and the tule elk will just start singing, and it's just a real wild feeling that you get. And sometimes you get them just right where you get the little fawns. And the big old tule elk. Now we're going to go to the San Joaquin River. For those, so most of you know this, but there's two parts to the refuge. You got the area north of 132 that is where the Beckworth platform is, and they plant about 200 acres of corn each year for the Aleutian cackling geese, and also you get a lot of Ross's geese come in there and sandhill cranes. And from the Beckworth platform, you got a good vantage point. You can look out there, and a lot of times if you come up there, you'll see sites like this. But if you come at the right time, you can see sites like this. Like I said, the Ross's geese come in here. There's probably more white geese that use this than the dark geese. As many of you know, in October, November, the refuge, along with Cal Fish and Wildlife, they do a banding program. They tried to band 400 Aleutian geese every year with not only a leg band, but a collar. And that way, when they do the surveys, they can just look and see the collars and find out and get the information on them where they go. Eric Hobson, who's the manager this year, asked me to make a video on the banding process. So here's a short six-minute video, and get back to you when it's done.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the world.
You're trying to do.
So this is a female because it does not have a penis. So this is all just regular stuff. I don't know what this protrusion here is, but that's not.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my opened mind, possessing and caressing me. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe.
And if you get to the right time, like I said, you can see a lot of geese at the Beckworth platform. 60, 70,000 geese is not uncommon. And you get bald eagles out there also. Out there one day and saw this coyote trying to make a sneak on the sandhill cranes. And it was smart enough not to try and do anything. And sometimes you see something that's a bit unusual. If you go down to below on the south side of 132, you got the Pelican Trail Loop. That's divided between the River Loop, Riparian Loop, and Brush Rapid Straits. And the Pelican Trail is about 4 miles long and goes through both marsh and riparian habitats. And you can see sandhill cranes. And there's a ton of quail there also. And it's got, I know Sal's been working on, some of the other people have been working on the hair rookery there. But it's always interesting. Feeding time. And that's the end of my program.